My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Deku Had Powers of Voodoo Doll. So, the what I mean by that is basically it's like that one character where from One Piece where he could use multiple dolls and because of his Delphi thing. But in this universe thing, or should I say in this what if, the Zuko is the, those dolls that, he could randomly choose one. Like, he could pick, say, if he was linked to All for One. And in this what if, All for One was in his prime. So, yeah. Yeah. And Zuko actually, he's immortal, so, in this what if. So, because of Voodoo Doll. Or his power doesn't allow him to die of any thing. Basically, he can't grow old or die. Or any natural causes. Like, basically get stabbed or get blasted by a cannon. Because the damage that he would have taken ends up going on to the whoever he chooses. Yeah, like if Shiraki-sen used his power on Zuko, then Shiraki-sen would ended up having his own power turned against him instead. Yeah. So, yeah. And I'm also adding Zumi into this what if. So, yeah. And it's basically a curse. Or it's a blessing and a curse. So, he could fall off a really high story building and he survives. Someone far away dies. Yeah. Or it takes the damage. So, yeah. So now, let's begin. Zuko and Zumi were born. And also, Zuko has the quirk, it's a fusion of the flame control, like what his sister has, and the heating up control. So basically, it's whatever he touches can become flamed. Like the guy from One Piece, where he could turn things into more, or he has more, he could heat things up by just touching them. Yeah. So yeah. So then, I am not adding any Marvel series. I just had this one laying around, so yeah. So, okay. So Inko and Isashi were, of course, after Zuko and Zumi were born, were like, huh, I'm happy that, or actually, as Sashi says, I'm happy to play catch with the sun. Yeah, and then, yeah. So, he does that. And as the, so at age of 3, he also met a girl, and her name, she actually became friends with him, but I'll show you anyway. So it's MHA Rinko. Rinko. And who likes scariest stuff is, of course, Rinko. No. So, yeah. So she ends up dating him. She did not care if Zuko was quirkless or quirked. So, let's begin with the. So, sorry, I keep saying that. But, yeah, so a time skip to 4. And so Zuko and Zumi went to a quirk doctor with Inko and Asashi, of course, name. So the quirk doctor looks at Zumi and tells her that she has a quirk, fire manipulation. And the your son does have a quirk too. But I don't know how to explain this to you. He has a fusion or fused quirk of fire manipulations, just like his sister, but also a flaming or heating up quirk fused inside. It's a fusion, so it's a really rare or legendary rare. You never seen it before. Because in this universe, the quirks are this usually is one and or like the fused of the families is quirk, or but not like having three quirks in one, like fused into one quirk. So yeah, I was gonna make like a quirk doctor lie to him, and yeah, be super dark, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not making him like super dark. If you don't know what that means, it means that what I mean is that some of you guys really like really dark stuff on the internet. Like, yeah, so Zuko Hill and Zumi were walking, and and she gets one for all. Zumi got one for all, so from Almay, and she hadn't told her brother, on there. But Zuko, it was a good thing. Yeah, it was Zumi. Imagine having One for All to be added to Zuko instead. With his ability. Because in this universe, there's a super legendary rare. Like, I'll tell you the number how rare it is. Okay. Zero 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 0.1%. And that's low. And Zuko is that number. He's immortal. He can't be harmed by everything else. So he could stand in a room with 20 miniguns on people and they all start firing at him, but ends up killing themselves off. Yeah, but it's also a curse because he can never age or can never die. Yeah, so, and all the damage that he would have taken, like, yeah. But he's also it goes lower than that by 2 more zeros added to it. So it was, because if someone manages to or tries to harm him mentally, it makes him stronger instead of like harming him. So, and its ability. So, and his powers are so powerful that even like no one could even harm him. So, he ends up hanging around with his girlfriend thing more times, and yeah. So the heat builds up, or let's say, or let's do a time skip to 15. At this time, during all that time, Zuko did notice that Zumi hasn't been like hanging around with him a lot, so, but he doesn't care. But he does care if, so he kept a watchful eye on her. And so he goes, he still hangs out with his girlfriend more, the Rinko. Here, I'll just use, there, no, there. So, yeah. So she ends up being like, man, you're more impressive. Or actually, she didn't know that if. So he ends up doing something like her other friends wanted to, or told her, how about let's prank your boyfriend? Sure. So then so she pretends to date some other person. But Zuko was like heartbroken. But then something, he doesn't feel it. Like, he doesn't feel his own heart broke because of someone. But they did not know, or they didn't see, or no, they did not know who, that whatever, like mentally. So he ends up walking to school, but then his body starts to, as he could feel the body growing, like his muscles were, because how much it hurts him mentally, he became like what you see on his screen. His body was stronger than any normal person. As he is trying to figure out why this is weird. As he could still heat things up, and it, like, he tries his hardest to as he's feels like something else is going on through him. So he went to the doctors. There's again, but it wasn't a court doctor. As he, or actually a retired doctor that now he owns a coffee shop thing. He's like, as some random guy used his quirk, like, let's say a guy you had a blade quirk, and he stabs Zuko. Oh. And this is just a dark road. Yeah. So that it's just dark, but this is just a beginning part. It will get lighter when down the line. So, or should I say it's wavy. So let's continue. So the retired doctor looked at Zuko, and the villain, like, went right through him, but as he's like, man, as he looks over, or as he looks over at at the villain, but the villain was already dropped to the floor. Blood stain on a floor. Did you do that? As he looks at, as the doctor's like, no. Let's say behind a coffee shop there's still a doctor's office thing, and he usually does. So he goes around, he checks Zuko's DNA thing, and the doctors was so surprised that as he's like, hold on, Zuko, you never heard of there's a legendary story way back where there was these people, or they are called abilities, or not quirks, but they actually have abilities. Some of them could control earth, some control fire, some control people's bodies, some even linked with others. But you, Zuko, you're the unique, different type of it. And the rarity that you are is, as he is 0.1. Yeah. It's a highest number. There's 1, 10, 100, 1,000, million, trillion, billion. And like, Zuko went all the way to like it was because some people are, or with quirks, are just commons, that is 100%. But Zuko is at, and way down the road percent. That's what I'm trying to say. So Zuko, or so the quirk, or no, so the, and plus with your quirk, Zuko, or young man, with your quirk makes you go beyond it too. So you're the super legendary rare. Really? I don't know. As he looks at his hand, I don't know. Plus my powers acted up too. I have 2 powers. One that you saw, and the other is about this emotion. Like, if someone like mentally harms me, I grow stronger. Like what I am now. That also makes you go down a little bit more further. Keep it around. Okay? Okay. You want some hot cocoa? It's on a house. So, yeah. Because he opens his own store, so he's a owner. So, Zuko gets a hot cocoa thing. And they start talking about, like, how did he get this power? And he says, I had it when I was born, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Yeah. So he kept it a secret from everyone. So imagine if one for all was passed down to him, and his immortality, he would have been like, he could have just be one man that could kill everybody. So, but he's not gonna become a, like, so he does join UA. He got accepted to UA. And he says, I have a few new tricks up my sleeve, Bakugo. As Bakugo's like, ooh, okay. That's why I have this metal pipe. Or the metal rod. And he doesn't just hook up to, like, humans. He could also hooked up to robots. He could hooked up to the animals. And he could just, as they're like, okay, what are you going to do with that? I'm going to beat the snot out of them. And let's say one of the robots just like comes in. Or like actually the Zuko and Ochaku and Momo looks over because Zuko went through this growing spurt thing. Like he's more stronger than normal human. As they're like, man, that boy is like, yeah. Because he ends up being a, so, is that your brother? Yep. Man. So, Zuko runs, or gates open, and, of course, it was during the robot part, so, yeah. So, Zuko ends up running out. He's beating all the robots. And when I said he could be, or if he was mentally harmed, instead of him, like, getting, like, hurt, it makes him stronger. So, like, he could be, and his muttering to himself real quietly is, like, can help him a lot through any situation. So he basically, he says mutter, mutter, mutter. Or he's like, starts talking to himself. Like, throw insults to himself. As they see a buffed up guy that's like bigger than the entire door, and he ends up beating around robots. Then the Zero came him, and now for my unique skill power, as he stabs himself, as he chose the 0-pointer, as he went right to the core, as it worked, as the machine blew up before her. Boom! as he pulls it out. Wow. I did not know that would work on a machine like that. As everyone's jaws dropped. Where is it? As they all had the same look. Like what Zumi has. So, yeah. Zuko's just fine. He's just like, as they're like, man. He basically, everybody's like, man, this kid is on a whole nother level. So, yeah. Don't touch me. So Zuko turns around. Or, actually, he didn't actually turn around. He just, like, turns his head. As he picks the debris up. And grabs Ochako. And plus, there was no physical harm to him. And it was, yeah. But he got a lot of points. Because of, he did something, and I'm the super legendary rare. Like, ultimate super legendary rare in the entire world. Yeah. So, yeah, so, yeah. And in the next part, I will go over the, like, hero versus villains. Or not heroes versus villains. What happened to, like, yeah, after this. Okay? So, stay tuned. So, peace out, y'all. Peace.